Hey, this is Timmara signing on with Amnesia, The Dark Descent. I don't want to do this. Okay, we're in near mid-October, and I figure I gotta play at least one horror game this year. Or, during the month. Have I played a horror game this year? The Medium, which I've soured on as time has gone by, but... Okay, anyways. So, yeah, Amnesia, The Dark Descent. This is classic YouTube horror, and I'm not looking forward to it. Okay, developed and published originally by Frictional Games, known for the Penumbra series, which this is basically a spiritual successor to, from what I understand. Released, on PCs in late 2010. This was kind of like... Amnesia is what popularized what I feel like a lot of people think, really popularized, horror on YouTube, arguably, and indie horror, I feel. Like, looking back, and, prime example, PewDiePie, really got a jump start in his early career when he played Amnesia. And that was, long time ago. And Amnesia, again, after Amnesia, you saw, a trend in indie horror with games like Outlast, Five Nights at Freddy's, Slender, many more, where you are defenseless, basically. If you think about AAA horror games like RE4 or even early Resident Evil and Dead Space, the difference between those is that at least in those games, you usually had a way to defend yourself, but you had to use it was resource management. It was survival horror. But at least in AAA horror, you had to be cautiously aggressive. In Amnesia, you have to be, or you are, vulnerable all the time. So sorry, I could ramble on about that for a little while longer, but I should probably get started. It's been 2 minutes in. I lost track of time. Anyways, start a new game, because I'm going to try my best to get through this. I'm going to try, because I'm really bad with horror. I'm not feeling too good right now, and this is just one of those worst possible games of just first person. I play 10, 20 minutes, but, have not seen a monster yet. That's what worries me. I go, I should play a horror game. Friend, recommend me something. I go, how about RE7? Did you finish that? Yes, but it was a while ago. No, play something else. Play Amnesia.
Be forgotten. The shadow hunting me. I must hurry. My name is Daniel. I live in London at Mayfair. What have I done? This is crazy. Don't forget. Don't forget. I must stop him. Focus. My name is... I am Daniel.
Alright, good to know. So, Dan, what's going on? I'm a little sick, so, my stomach's already not feeling great, let alone now doing this. Okay, we're getting there. So, and to clarify, I'm playing this on PS4 via the Amnesia Collection that released a couple years ago. 2016? It's been a while since they said console. PlayStation 4 in 2016. Then later consoles later on. And I completely forgot that almost to the day last year, Amnesia 3 came out, Rebirth, and everyone seems to have completely forgotten about that. Okay. So I'm just wandering around. Yeah, some weird controls where we got... we're a little tipsy. You can see we're a little slanted right now. That'll change in a bit. We've got picking up tinted boxes that are used to light candles and other light sources in the environment. Yeah, okay. So just to take stock here, I increased the look sensitivity a little bit. Let's do it a little bit more just in case. Run, throw. This is physics-based first-person horror. So this is going to go great. So, not many controls, but it'll do for what we have. And then here we got our health, all is good. Sanity, crystal clear. And, yeah, just that. Tinderboxes, oil, we'll get to that later. Journal, then journal, notes, and other things. Follow the liquid trail and find its source. We're making our way here. Alright, we're finally centering out a little bit. Again, I played a little bit just to like get a idea on like how everything controls. I've like started this game like 2 or 3 times just like, oh, let's just check it out. And then like I immediately stopped because I'm a coward. Because yeah, looking around just trying to find stuff. A couple of tinder boxes. Pick up chairs. We rotate with the directional buttons. And that. So, yeah, Amnesia, again, probably, like, you know, one of the big things in PewDiePie's early career, and, you know, the physics-based, where the physics where you just interact with stuff and do things, you know, and the nemesis, or the early nemesis of barrels and the friendship of Stefano, that stuff. And yeah, this is just... And he's just got an interesting little history. Because on PC also, you know, when he finished the original game, he still kept playing Amnesia because there were custom maps and stuff like that, where people just like made their own things, which were often more jump scary than the actual game. And I'd never seen the full Let's Play. I've seen like a couple of parts, and, you know... Okay. It's like, easy, man. It's just a crest. Yeah, just disorienting. I'm trying not to crank the brightness up, so it's pretty close to default, I think. I'm trying to get this. I'm trying to get into the mood, but also I don't want to be scared. I like horror, I just don't like engaging with it. But anyways, where was I? No, just talking about, because the first game, yeah, this big and popular, custom maps, everything, that's what really drove like the replayability. The room sitting in darkness will slowly drain, turn on lights in the environment. Yeah, I'm not gonna, well, I suppose I could use tinder boxes, I don't need to. Go a little bit farther here. Yeah. When we're in the dark, our sanity will slowly drain. A slight headache. So, you know, not feeling too good. But we're pushing through. He fell to the kitchen floor. Tears were beginning to well in his eyes as he received the first kick in his stomach. Hazel remained hidden, in fear she too would be punished. Well, okay. I can only assume what that is, alluding to. I don't think there's anything in here. Okay, yeah. Witnessing unsettling events will reduce your sanity. It can be increased by completing puzzles and making progress. So, slight headache. You know, our sanity's taking a hit because things are just blowing open because of the wind. Weird things are going on. But we have this little guy. We have our lantern. Okay, but a limited resource to look into the light because, yeah, we need oil to keep it filled. That's basically all I know. And I know how to get to the next area. I don't know what's going to happen afterwards. So as long as we're in light, we got our portable light, our sanity will be okay. But, from what I understand, having a light source makes you easy to see from other things that are out and about. I was wondering if this could open. Okay. Just keeping an eye out. You know, weird look at the shadows and everything. And yeah, like grabbing control stuff, you gotta like hold the right trigger and then move the camera button to, or camera analog to swing things, which is really weird. Probably gonna be really hectic and distracting. Picked up oil, might as well just plop it in now.
19th of August, 1839. I wish I could ask how much you remember. I don't know if there will be anything left after I consume this drink. God willing, the name Alexander of Brennenburg. One last thing.
Oops. Okay, wait, hold on. Daniel's note to self. I wish you could ask how much you remember. Consume this drink. I was pressing the button. I should have just left it. Don't be afraid, Daniel. I can tell you why, but no. I can't tell you why, but know this. I chose to forget. I choose to forget. Try to find comfort and strength in that fact. There is a purpose. You are my final effort to put things right. God willing, the name Alexander of Brennenburg still invokes bitter anger in you. If not, this will sound horrible. Go to the inner sanctum, find Alexander, and kill him. His body is old and weak, and yours young and strong. He will be no match for you. One last thing. A shadow is following you. It is a living nightmare, breaking down reality. I've tried everything, and there is no way to fight back. You need to escape it as long as you can. Redeem us both, Daniel. Descend into the darkness while Alexander waits and murder him. Your former self, Daniel. So yeah, past self telling future self, just sort of like, okay, here's a job for you. And, I just had a thought and I completely lost it. No, yeah, like, this is what I mean by, indie horror is about being vulnerable and defenseless. It's, you can't fight back. In the game, even when you, originally started up, it's like, you know, there's no way to fight back. Don't be aggressive, be smart, and hide yourself. Okay. Took me a while to find this when I was just testing it out, but yeah, lever. There we go. New passage, and I don't think there's any purpose to going back and looking around. So, on to the main event. Freaky giant bugs. The door slammed shut behind him, and he knew he would never again see the old tailor at Berkeley Square, not a lone soul in London. Seemed appropriate somehow. So yeah, the game tells you when you start up, it's just sort of like, don't fight back, just hide and try to be careful and be smart. And it also tells you, hey, play in a darkly lit or dark room with your headphones on. No, screw you. I'm not doing that.
Alexander, is it inside the castle?
In a manner of speaking. Come, bring the lamp. You've been to the refinery, have you not?
I don't believe I have. Is it connected to the... what did you call it?
The inner sanctum. My most precious chamber, Daniel. And it lies well beyond the refinery. In fact, it lies beneath the very stone of Brennenburg.
Ah. Okay. It is tough and pliant. It cannot be torn by hand or tool. Okay, great. Okay, not this way. So I suppose now we gotta walk around until we find something we can use. Great. This is where it really begins. I'm just thinking here. I want to stop already. Okay. Okay. I'm trying here. I was going on another tangent about indie horror and I forgot it. But, yeah, it's just sort of like... Yeah, you're... Oh. Wait. Okay. Goddamn little noises. Alright. Can't go that way. Sorry. Again, under the weather... Jesus Christ. Under the weather as it is, and I'm trying to push forward through this. And it's just like, ugh. You know, I'm already bad with horror. I'm keeping myself distracted. Oh, boy. Supposed to go to the lab. I don't know. Fragrant taste of rose lingered in his mouth. Turkish delights, he thought, just like the ones at the consulate in Constantinople. I'm trying here. Like... Okay. Nope. Okay, that just caved in. That's what I need. Okay, yeah, I'm trying to keep myself distracted by talking, but I'm kind of hit all my points. Okay, carrying on. Whoops, no, no. Bring that thing back up. Okay. Okay, if I keep using... I'm gonna run out of oil. I'm really trying here. Oop. I turned my volume down too low, and now I can't hear anything. The lack of chimney to properly vent the fumes from from my most recent experiments has taken its toll on many of my less stable ingredients in storage. Some seem unaffected, but many are stained by the fumes, and will be difficult to salvage. I shall do what I can and move them to the wine cellar. Great. Thanks, whoever wrote that. Oop, oil.
There should be more coop racks. Let me see. And one part aquaforce.
This is my third attempt. Wait, hold on. Let him finish. One day I'll return. If it wasn't for the thought of you, my love, I would be able to go on. When I find myself doing terrible things, I take comfort in you. As long as I'm able to think of you and long for a life together, I know I'm better than the others. I weep for them. They lust for power without restraint. There's only where I only crave fair judgment and a safe return. Okay. Okay, so we can just see it again. So it's just a little... Okay, taking stock real quick. Pot containing mixtures of all sorts. So what do we find? We gotta put in there. Oh boy. Sorry, now it's getting just sort of like, oh great. I have no idea when things are gonna start showing up, so it's just sort of like, well... Okay. The other children cheered him on, his name voiced in a steadily rising pace, urging him to do it, and am I really doing this? The young boy thought, and struck his victim with a rock. Jesus. Okay. Silvinaria. I'm guessing that's wine cellar. Great. More wandering around. I know that's what we're supposed to do. It's just sort of like, I'm really trying here. I'm just trying. Okay. I really just want to stop. Another sealed door down there. Archives. Great. Traveling to Dover meant going through Kettenbury. He made sure to pay a visit to avoid a sense of guilt connected with the neglect of family. Alright. With the neglect of family. Blech, I'm putting words in where they don't exist. My mind's already falling apart. And that's the thing. What gets me, you know, with games like Resident Evil. Sorry, just... With games like Resident Evil, even 7...
16th of May,
Hold on.
1839. The unflinching African sun has continued to plague our expedition, making it impossible to dig until dusk. How Professor Herbert managed to find the location in these vast plains of nothingness remains a mystery to me. When I asked him about the tomb again, he told me about the legend of Tin Hanan, the mother of us all.
Alright.
An interesting story in its own right, but I can't help feeling there's more. Later that evening, we uncovered a passage beneath the dunes leading to a sand-covered stone structure. The professor was confident it was the tomb we sought and ordered the others to clear the way late into the dark, cold night. Tomorrow, I shall lead the men into the ancient structure, hoping to reach the burial chamber. No matter what the professor is keeping from me, the dig should yield something interesting to take back to London and the British Museum.
Alright, great. So yeah, basically, this is definitely building up, like, you know, Cthulhian horrors, just like these people have unleashed. Again, I have no idea what actually happens in this story, but I can assume based on trope. Oh, right. Pressing the wrong button to turn it. Alright. Alright. Trying to accurately. Probably should be using up more tinder boxes. I'm gonna run out of oil at this rate, but I just feel like I feel like I'm gonna need it when I need it, so I don't want to use it up. Oh. Ugh.
17th of May, 1839. My hands tremble as I write. I feel a need to document my tribulation, for I fear that my memory will fail me if I linger. Today, I took some men and ventured into the dark, ancient passage we uncovered. Our torches burned faintly in the murky air as we slowly made our way underground. The men were superstitious and fearful. They argued loudly, and I felt their strange language getting to me. I mustered my strength and yelled at them to continue down the slopes.
Loud truck going by. Sorry.
The
Just what happens.
carved passage confused me. It looked much older than the 4th century structure we had expected. The twisting path emerged into a great antechamber. I was trapped.
Sorry, moving on. Reading it ahead. Okay. 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 So, where was I? I was gonna say, you know, when it comes to horror, you know, things like Dead Space and Resident Evil, even 7, I can handle because, you know... Oops. Because the difference is, you know, in those games you can defend yourself. Okay? In those games, you can defend yourself, you know? Even in the original Resident Evil, I should play that instead. If I can't get through this, if I stop playing, I'll try Resident Evil 1. But... but anyways, you know, at least in those games, you can defend yourself, and you can get jump scared, or something can appear that you're not expecting, but... Study. Okay, so I can interpret. That feels like it's going darker. Let's go this way and see what's down here first. Just looking. Okay. Anyways, where was I? You know, even in those games you can defend yourself, and that's kind of the thing. You know, Dead Space teaches you, you know, how to defend yourself pretty quickly, and, you know, monsters will constantly come after you, even after you've cut up their entire bodies. Looped around, just checking. But, you know, and things will jump out at you, and things will change. But I can handle that, because you got the plasma cutter, or RE7, where it's locked, local history. You know, Resident Evil 7, which... I feel like the other difference is first person for me, because third person, there's that disconnect, like in Resident Evil 2 and 3 remakes, which I'm really into. Those made me RE fans. Oh, that was a rock. I thought it was a thing. Okay. But, you know, you got like that third person perspective, and while it can still be scary, it's still action-y, but, you know, you still have to be careful, or you can be careful. Things can still surprise you, but you can just still be ready. And the tension comes from just like, you know, I can take on a lot of things that come at me, but do I have the resources to do it? And, you know, so the tension becomes managing your resources. Oops. That scared me because I grabbed... Okay. The tension becomes managing resources. Alright, well, there goes my way back.
Much of the castle is old and hasn't been tended to for centuries. When the shadow arrives, it won't take long until things start falling apart.
We're just buying time anyway. Let's do what we can.
There isn't much to be done about the walls. We should reinforce weak structures. The ground will tremble, and there's a risk everything will cave in on us, especially downstairs. Here, and there. Let's get the servants working on it.
East Wing, Western Hall. Suppose these are the maps that you're supposed to either jot down or memorize, but I'm not going to do that. If I run into a problem, I'll just stop playing. It's kind of what I'm coming up to. I thought I saw something behind that. Okay, anyways. But, you know, in, say, Resident Evil or, you know, other third-person horror games, it comes down to resource management, and that's where the horror kind of is. But in first person, that disconnect is even smaller, and the difference between, like, you know, for me, Resident Evil 1 and,
17th of May, 1839. After pounding the unforgiving stone wall for what seemed like an eternity, I realized it was hopeless.
come on.
I was trapped. I fell to the ground, gasping for air, trying to focus. That's when I saw a faint blue shimmer. My weakened body was heavy to carry, but I managed to push myself toward the enchanting light.
I'm just approaching cautiously.
For me.
Sorry.
Closed in dark nothingness, I felt myself drawn to the mystic light. I reached out, closing it in my hands. The faint glow escaped my fingers and began to spark brightly and spirit me away, unlocking alien memories of spiraling towers, endless deserts, and impossible geometry. The next thing I can remember is the grating sound of stone being lifted, the voices of the Arabs pulling me to safety, and grasped firmly in my hands was the broken pieces of have a most peculiar relic.
All right. Still don't have much in the way of answers. Kingdom of Prussia. Okay, sorry. Am I missing like a weapon or something to grab? Or, you know, not a weapon, but a tool. Anyways. Sorry, I keep going on and off about my ramblings, but, you know, the difference between, you know, the difference of first person and third person make a big difference, at least to me, because first person, in third person, like in the RE Resident Evil games, the early ones, that, perspective gives you a disconnect. But in RE7, everything is right in your face, and especially with how it looks, you know, RE7 is just more terrifying because, like, that grossness is right in your face. Oops, didn't mean to do that, but okay. And now here's kind of like this, but at least, again, in RE7, you've got weapons, so if something pops out, you can fight back. So it's just like a brief, and then attack, which is still terrifying, but here, it is just like you are defenseless. You have to figure out, like, what to do. You've got to hide, you've got to run, and, you know, if something kills you, you're probably going to just go back to a recent save or something, but this must be what we have to use. Right.
You have to be swift when you activate the first one. You hear that? If it stops, you'll have to start over.
Isn't all this a bit excessive?
You can never be too careful, Daniel.
Why not just take stock and listen to the... Okay. So... I realize I'm going through my oil real quickly. I feel like that's going to be a problem. I'll start on... Jesus, this is a lot of... Sorry, I'm not trying to be just sort of like, right reading, but... Won't open, it's locked. No? Okay. There's gotta be something here. I don't suppose... Oh. Just taking stock. Now I'm trying to remember, what did that guy say? Kind of wasting my oil by... Okay, sorry. So, there... You know, I'm trying to remember what he said. It's just like, oh, grab the book and do this. There. There it goes. Okay. I just had to get them all at once. It was just taking a bit to click. Why not? Now I'm using these up too fast. There's our wine cellar key. Wilhelm and the fools endangered my research long enough. Okay. Okay. Not that I want to keep going, it's just... It won't budge. Oh, great. Ah, there it is. There's a thing. Okay. Stealing myself, I'm trying anyways. Let me just get out of here. It was done. The men said the tomb had been revealed. Tin Hinan awaits Grin, the toothless foreman. Oh boy, okay, here we go. This is where it's starting to be really tense. I lost completely on my tangent about, like, horror games and, you know, distinctions. Oh, Jesus. There wasn't even anything there. The hell? Health is all good. Head is pounding and hands are shaking. Great. Just what I needed. Okay, Christ. Might as well go to the wine cellar. Yeah, continuing my ramblings about, you know, horror games and their distinction. Use the key to unlock the... Okay, I figured it would just work. There we go. Wine cellar, now we gotta find... Stone slab looked like a security or safety measure. It wasn't meant to be ever moved ever again. Okay. Yeah, what was I saying about horror? It was, you know, to using Resident Evil as an example, because that's just what I'm used to. But, you know, the difference between the remakes of, like, 2 and 3, for example, and 7 is that 7, everything's in your face. That first-person perspective really makes you not feel safe. But you can still fight back, and that's the distinction.
Where did the Baron go?
Who cares? He left us enough wine to last us a lifetime. Or at least until tomorrow.
Trying to think of where to go, because I don't want to go anywhere. I might as well start in here. Okay. Cooperite. Sure, great. I'm gonna run out of oil here. Calamine. Jesus, okay. Breathe. A few cuts and bruises, head is pounding. Okay. I need oil. Pick it up. Sweet, okay. Come on. Okay. 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 This is where they were left. Cool.
What's happening? Oh, it feels like my chest is going to burst. Oh.
My God! Wilhelm, do something!
Taco Regia.
We're not getting out of here.
How can you say that? Alexander, you piece of shit! Let us out of here!
Okay. Sorry, I'm really trying my best here. My name is Wilhelm House of Gerich. Sorry, I'm just reading this in my head because it's... Alright. So, you know, people were dragged here, and bad stuff happened, as to be expected. Figure gotta check everywhere, so we checked in here, we checked there. 2 more doors. Great. Okay. If an enemy is near, stay out of sight. Well, is an enemy near? Picked up laudium. Oh boy. Great. Okay. Trying to breathe here. Sorry, now this is where it's just sort of like, oh god. Yeah, and then going to my point, the thing is, in third-person horror, again, keep going back to Resident Evil 7 so I can finish my thought, you know, you can defend yourself, you can fight back, so, like, the scare is there, and then you just have to, like, work with it. Here, there's nothing we can do. If we're not careful, we're done for. It's just the stress management and just the, you know, just the waiting of bad stuff is going to happen, so be careful. We can't defend ourselves, we can't fight back, and games like Outlast and Five Nights at Freddy's are all about this, where, you know, saying he's not doing too well, but I'm trying to stay in the light. I can barely control myself. Sorry, just trying to barely have any control over our body. That door's open now. Okay. Finally can move right again. I feel, you know, not to be orpiment. I feel like this is all just tutorializing us on this. So, you know, we're not to the point where we gotta be completely on guard for enemies yet. We can get anything else out of this. Barrel contains no oil. Didn't get much out of it, but... Okay, now I'm guessing we just gotta take everything... Nope. You know, I feel like monsters aren't going to be running around quite yet, but we're getting to that point where they are. And yet, when you're defenseless, it's just sort of like, we just gotta, you know, run around, figure out how to, like, solve a puzzle and make progress without getting caught. And I have no idea what that actually entails in terms of this game. Again, I know this more from cultural osmosis rather than, you know, witnessing it. Oh, Jesus. Few cuts and bruises. Crystal clear. Really? I don't believe you. Jesus! Okay. So now, what do we do again? Wait. Nope. Wrong thing. Sorry, continue plot's path are funny. Can it be dissolved? So, do we have to... Right. So we gotta go back to, Okay. Sorry, just... Let's see if we can get this figured out, then we'll wrap up. I don't think I'll continue, but I tried my best. I really am. I just can't stand it. Didn't even read that. Oh, I suppose that's fair. Don't know why I thought I could take that drop. Don't know how to recover health either. Not trying to use up all my oil again, but that's just... It's going to be so... 4 different chemicals are needed to continue. Okay, so... I suppose, do we have to put this... No object... Okay. Okay, needs to be a container. I thought maybe that jar was it, but... Oh, I suppose. One of these. No? Okay, so that's how we heal. Good to know. Oh, one of these maybe? At least we can just keep trying until we get it. If we just... Okay, what container? Oh, there it goes. Okay, it finally triggered. I thought, it's like, of course it's got to be that, and it's not triggering. Picked up pot of acid. Okay. Oh, I had my lantern on the entire time. What a waste. Okay. Great. Can we... There we go. You know, smart stuff and use of physics. But, you know, don't know if I'll get that far. Becomes impossible to avoid. The commotion in the street begged for his attention. As he opened the shutters, the French soldiers opened fire on the two young men fighting back. Their voices were silenced in a haze of gun smoke. We gotta get through this again. It just keeps growing. Tough. Okay. Alchemist. Yay. All that acid just to clear one spot. Refinery. He sat down by the kasbah while grasping for air. Sweat poured from his forehead and onto the sand-veiled ground. Okay, honestly, I think I'm done. Sorry, I know it hasn't even gotten to like the really intense parts yet, but I'm just sort of like, nope, I'm not gonna be able to stomach this. Again, I just don't like being defenseless.
It sure is dark in here.
Yes, and there's a good reason for it. But you can light the lamp now if you wish.
Well,
What's the reason for the darkness, that is?
Stay close. Be careful not to stray.
What's the reason? Why is it so dark?
Pay attention, Daniel. It's important that you keep going straight and make sure not to stray.
yeah, this is not... Yep, I'm out of oil. I am screwed. So I think I'm going to cut my losses here. You know, I will... Well, hold on. Yeah, okay, I'm going to cut my losses here. I am going to stop. I will maybe think about continuing. Probably won't. So this is either... This wasn't a Let's Play all along. It was just an impressions video, is my excuse. So, sorry, I'm just not good with horror. I like the genre. I like a lot of aspects about, you know, horror and fear and all that. I just can't take it. I really can't. So, you know... Yeah, I did the same thing with Outlast, except I got farther here than I did Outlast, where I tried, like, you know what, let's play Outlast. I'll try to do this. That was years ago. And then I, like, immediately quit the game before anything really started happening. And so, like, I just named that video, it's like, I attempt to play Outlast. And I go, well, I tried. I really did. And this was my attempt at playing, Amnesia. And, yeah... Save progress. I'm just gonna stop. Sorry, I just can't. I tried. I'm too tense and I don't like it. Getting scared, you know, on one hand is fine, but on the other hand, like with Amnesia, it's that ever-building tension, which makes sense. Don't get me wrong. I see the reason why that's kind of thrilling. It's too much for me. I feel like I feel like nothing much has even happened. I just can't. I just can't. So I'm gonna quit while I'm ahead. So thank you for putting up with me. I tried, but, you know, maybe I'll come back to this. Maybe. Amnesia I recognize for what it did, but, you know, on this collection you got Amnesia, and apparently, like, it's a little, small expansion story, Justine, which honestly I didn't even realize was on here. And then there's also, the second one, Machine for Pigs, which was made by the Chinese Room, known for Dear Esther and Everyone's Gone to the Rapture. It's also very much maligned. So, you know, trust me, this is an interesting game to look at, because technically, this is, you know, this is a walking sim before, like, that genre, well, around the same time that genre really started to get popularized with Dear Esther and stuff like that. So, looking back, you know, people will go like, oh, it's not a walking sim, it's a horror game, where all your capacity to do is walk and mess with physics. Not unlike things like Gone Home or, you know, Dear Esther and stuff like that. So, you know, it's a horror-themed walking sim, you know, arguably. And, you know, I never did make that walking sim video, even though I really want to, but going into it, you know, this would definitely be a good one to come back to for context and reference. Not now. I'm good. Like, it reminds me and a friend tried playing Soma, another game by Frictional. I've heard Soma's better than, you know, I've heard people say Soma's better than Amnesia. And we were just sort of like, two of us, we can play a horror game. Yeah, no problem. We immediately got to, like, where it starts to get scary, and we're just like, we don't want to play anymore. You play. No, I don't want to do it. You do it. And we just couldn't stomach it. And I just can't do it here. So, yeah, unfortunately, this is probably where I wrap up. So, with my rambling set aside, first-person defenseless horror is just something, like, I just can't stomach. I can't get behind it. Again, I'll try, you know, I'll go to, like, Resident Evil, where it's just, like, you know, action-y. Some people will argue it's, like, it's more action game than horror. I disagree, because, you know, horror is still a big part of it. And just the action is just your way of combating that horror. But, you know, it does the atmosphere so well that... Okay. Sorry, I'm rambling. I feel like whatever point I'm trying to make is not coming across, and I apologize. As for me, Amnesia: The Dark Descent. There's my impression. So, with that all being said, thank you for watching. Hope you enjoyed. Like and subscribe and all that. This is Timmara, signing off.